subs for only $7.99 for a limited time at participating restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
I'm Elizabeth Vargas. Tonight, Capitol Hill chaos.
Get back.
Panic as reports of gunfire shut down the nation's capital for hours. Military investigation. The U.S. Marines facing possible murder charges after 24 Iraqi men, women, and children die in a raid. Filling up the potions and products that promise to give you better mileage. We'll tell you whether the additives add up to anything. And our person of the week, the inspiring story of a high school wrestling star turning a disability into an advantage.
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight with Bob Woodruff and Elizabeth Vargas.
Good evening. We begin with a security scare that shut down the nation's capital for hours today. In an age of terrorism, it was a graphic sign of the times. It all started around 10:30 this morning with a call to the Capitol Police after New Jersey Congressman Jim Saxton thought he heard gunshots. That set off a panic on Capitol Hill as police swarmed and people ran for cover. For 5 hours, one of the largest buildings in Washington was under lockdown and no one was taking any chances. ABC's Pierre Thomas has the story.
For 5 hours, the possibility of gunfire brought the Capitol to a standstill. The House Select Intelligence Committee in session at the Rayburn Building was abruptly halted shortly after 10:30 a.m.
Excuse me, I'd ask all members please to stay in the room. There are reports of gunfire in the building.
Witnesses locked in the hearing were pressed into service as reporters of breaking news.
An alarm went off and this sort of metallic voice was heard saying, "Everyone stay in your offices."
One Georgia congressman's office started a blog detailing the ordeal blow by blow.
We've been okay on the hunger situation. We've got Georgia Peanuts and Coca-Cola Classic.
Within minutes, heavily armed police, FBI SWAT teams, ambulances, fire trucks, and a horde of reporters and camera crews were on the scene.
Lives could be at risk. If we have a gunman in the building, we certainly want to find him.
Police then began methodically searching room by room.
They knocked on the door, and then we let them in, and then, yes, the guns were drawn.
As the story unfolded, there were reports of a gunman in the house gym. And then a woman was wheeled out on a gurney. Was she shot? Turns out she fainted. In the post-9/11 world, police, especially those in critical locations like the Capitol, take no chances. And police in Washington are even more on edge since a gunman walked into the Capitol and killed 2 police officers in 1998. But was all the commotion really necessary? In the past, there have been numerous false alarms. Today, there were no reports of gunshot injuries, no confirmed sightings of anyone with a gun. Shortly after 3 p.m., the incident was over.
So what prompted the frenzy? We may never know, but the leading theory is that men servicing an elevator were using a tool like this one, an air hammer. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
An air hammer. There are serious and disturbing questions tonight about the conduct of a group of U.S. Marines in Iraq. The military has launched a high-level investigation into how 24 Iraqi men, women, and children were killed during a raid by the Marines in the town of Haditha. Nearly all the victims were unarmed. The Marines involved face potential criminal charges that could include murder. ABC's national security correspondent Jonathan Karl joins us from the Pentagon with the very latest on this investigation. Jonathan.
Elizabeth, in a sign of just how serious the Pentagon takes these allegations, the top general in the Marine Corps has traveled to Iraq with an explicit warning to his troops to guard against what he calls the risk of becoming indifferent to the loss of human life. Military officials say Marines killed 24 Iraqi civilians in Haditha last November. Investigators say 6 of those killed were children, ranging in age from 2 years old to 11. This videotape, shot by an Iraqi journalism student, shows the bloody aftermath. A whole family was wiped out, this man says. They were innocent people. U.S. military officials say the killings happened after a roadside bomb hit a convoy of 12 Marines, killing Lance Corporal Miguel Terrazas, and that the Marines then killed 5 unarmed men in an approaching taxi. Military sources say a team of Marines, including a sergeant, then went into a cluster of nearby homes. The Marines said later that they had taken enemy fire from those homes. When it was over, another 19 Iraqis lay dead. Military officials say they now believe there was no enemy fire and that the killings were unprovoked. ABC News has learned from sources close to the investigation that the ranking officer in the group that went into the homes is 25-year-old Sergeant Frank Wuderick, and that Sergeant Wuderick is a focus of the investigation.
There are established facts that incidents of a very serious nature did take place.
The Pentagon has briefed Congress on this and a second disturbing incident involving Marines. In the second case, officials say, a squad led by a sergeant had gone into the town of Hamandia to apprehend a suspected insurgent. When they didn't find him, they allegedly dragged an innocent man out of a house, shot him, and then planted an AK-47 on his body to make him look like an insurgent. Sources familiar with the investigation say some of the Marines have confessed, and that 7 Marines and a sailor have been removed from Iraq in connection with the incident and placed in custody at Camp Pendleton, California. An official told ABC News there was no logic in what they did. They just wanted to kill somebody. In light of these two incidents, the Pentagon is bracing for at least 2 separate trials this summer featuring Marines accused of killing innocent Iraqi civilians. Officials say they are determined, Elizabeth, to show that these allegations are taken seriously and that anybody found guilty will be dealt with severely.
But these will be a blow to that PR effort by the military. All right, John Carl, thanks so much. There'll be more on the Marine investigation on This Week with George Stephanopoulos on Sunday morning. President Bush and Prime Minister Tony Blair have wrapped up 2 days of talks in Washington, mostly about Iraq. The political toll the war has taken on both men was clear. Some of the bold talk we once heard from them is gone. Now they are voicing regrets and admitting mistakes. ABC's Jake Tapper is at the White House.
One last walk for President Bush and British Prime Minister Tony Blair on this visit. They came together to project confidence in the new Iraqi government, but perhaps what came across strongest was regret.
Not everything since liberation has turned out as the way we had expected or hoped.
The president was contrite about remarks he'd made, such as this from 2003.
My answer is bring them on. Saying bring it on. Kind of tough talk, you know, that sent the wrong signal to people. I learned some lessons about expressing myself maybe in a little more sophisticated manner.
Ever since the war began, the president has been asked repeatedly about mistakes, and this has often been the answer.
I'm sure something will pop in my head here in the midst of this press conference, all the pressure of trying to come up with an answer, but it hadn't yet.
Mr. Bush has recently been more willing to acknowledge problems in Iraq, from failures to secure the borders to prisoner abuse.
We've been paying for that for a long period of time.
Prime Minister Blair acknowledged being overly optimistic about how easy democracy would take hold there.
I'm afraid in the end, we're always going to have to be prepared for the fall of Saddam, not to be the rise of democratic Iraq, that it was going to be a more difficult process.
It was the 14th face-to-face meeting for the two men, their alliance forged in the furnace of war and worldwide criticism. But now they are embattled leaders, largely because of that war and the way they pursued it.
One last regret, Mr. Bush says he doesn't want Mr. Blair to resign next year as planned.
My attitude is I want him to be here so long as I'm the president.
Well, what more can I say? Probably not wise to say anything more at all.
Jake Tapper, ABC News, the White House.
Also in Washington, the Senate today confirmed General Michael Hayden as CIA director. Hayden was briefly a lightning rod in the debate over the National Security Agency's eavesdropping program, which started when he ran the agency. He was confirmed today by a vote of 78 to 15. One day after former Enron CEOs Kenneth Lay and Jeffrey Skilling were convicted of conspiracy and fraud, we are learning more about the jurors' reasons for their verdict. For some, it boiled down to a simple question: what would my obligations be in a similar situation? Here's ABC's Mike Van Fremd.
Many of the Enron jurors who spent 56 days hearing how a major American corporation unraveled say they never heard word one of accountability from the men in charge.
They seem to remember a lot of things about different charts and graphs, but they never seem to remember about things that were important.
The jurors from all walks of life, a dental hygienist, ship inspector, and 2 educators, all agree they themselves are held to a higher standard in their own jobs. Freddie Delgado is a school principal.
I think both defendants said that they had their hands firm on the wheel, so that they didn't know what was going on. You know, personally, I'm a principal, so I can't say that I don't know what my teachers were doing in the classroom.
Lay and Skilling were defiant to the end.
I firmly believe I'm innocent of the charges against me.
We fought the good fight, and some things work, some things don't.
Former Enron employees who sat in the courtroom during testimony were outraged by what was not said.
We've never heard them say, "I'm sorry." Not even, "I'm sorry this happened." We've never heard them say that.
Sentencing for Lay and Skilling is in September. Legal experts say they have one more opportunity to show remorse, and if they don't, they could spend the rest of their lives in prison. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News, Houston.
And still ahead, gasoline at $7 a gallon. Why an oil-rich nation charges the world's highest gas prices. Our series, The Producers. The summer driving season is here. The magnets, pills, and oils promising better mileage. What works and what doesn't? And a remarkable champion. He wouldn't let a disability pin him down. He's our Person of the Week.
When you live an active life, athlete's foot can break your rhythm. That's why there's Lamisil AT. Advanced treatment. So powerful, it treats athlete's foot 4 times faster than other leading products. You get results on the bottom that work their way to the top. Lamisil AT. Go on with the rhythm of life.
Add a capful of Mrs. Dash and watch your dinner move. 14 natural herbs and spices, no salt, no MSG. It's a deliciously bold way to give the same old a good shake. Mrs. Dash. And try the 10-minute marinades from Mrs. Dash. Salt-free, flavorful.
Here you go, Pete. Hey, Pop.
2 years ago, I had a heart attack. Right there where Tina is standing. If it weren't for Bayer aspirin, who knows?
To me, Bayer's an amazing thing.
Just think about it. The same Bayer aspirin I take for headaches
and me for backaches
helps save Pop's life.
Bayer's an important part of this family.
Always will be.
It truly is a wonder drug.
And try extra strength Bayer Back and Body. It rushes relief to the site of your pain.
This is Ortho season-long grass and weed killer. It works like this. With one easy spray, it kills existing weeds and forms a protective barrier to prevent new ones. All season long. Ordinary weed killers don't prevent weeds. So staying weed-free all season means spraying month after month after month, using up to 5 times as much weed killer. Ortho season long. All weeds, all gone, all season, guaranteed.
We're going to take a closer look at a nation where you almost have to take out a loan to fill up your gas tank, Norway. This week, we've been reporting on what the major oil-producing nations are doing with their surging wealth. Norway has 8.5 billion barrels of oil, the largest reserves in Western Europe. So why must its drivers pay the highest gasoline prices in the world? With our series, The Producers, here's ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Jim Shudo, in Norway.
Travel to the northernmost tip of Europe and you see immediately that Norwegians have it good. The highest incomes in the world, the highest quality of life. But you have to go far offshore to see where all the wealth comes from. These North Sea wells have made a country the size of New Mexico the world's 3rd largest oil exporter. This is Norway's most productive offshore oil rig. It was designed and built to break even with oil at a price of $14 a barrel. At current prices, this single platform is making nearly $500 million a month in pure profit. Awash in oil money, Norway has made the sometimes politically unpopular decision to save most of it. Since 1997, 3/4 of oil profits go straight into a national savings account, which today totals $250 billion.
We have to take into consideration the situation for future generations.
With an aging population, Norwegians are saving for the time when today's children retire. But with so much oil income, there is still enough money to pay for generous public services today. Public schools are so good, few pay for private education, and there is free, high-quality national health care. The government has even appointed a philosopher to help decide how to spend the rest of the money.
Anyone who has that kind of imprint in the world because of the size of the fund has a responsibility.
One responsibility? The environment. To encourage conservation, Norway taxes gasoline heavily. Norwegians pay the most in the world for gas, $7.30 a gallon. A trip to a gas station in Norway is, by American standards, outrageously expensive. Filling up a family car like this one costs more than $130 US.
So we have a very greedy state. The state makes a lot of money just by the fact that the oil price is so high.
Not greedy, frugal, say Norway's current leaders. And with its oil reserves expected to run out in a decade or two, Norway is already weaning itself off of oil, relying more and more on renewable energy, such as hydropower. For Norway, an oil fortune is unquestionably good while it lasts. Jim Shudo, ABC News, Oslo, Norway.
Our closer look for today. When we return, the products that promise to help you save on high-priced gasoline, are they worth their price?
If you use those over-the-counter drops several times a day, you may have chronic dry eye due to decreased tear production without knowing it, like me. And my doctor prescribed Restasis.
With continued use, Restasis helps increase your natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. It should not be used by patients with active eye infections and has not been studied in patients with a history of herpes viral infections of the eye. The most common side effect is a burning sensation.
More of my own tears. Thanks, Restasis.
I am a huge bargain shopper.
Love a good bargain? Get to Big Lots now for photo frames starting at just $1. Plus, get here Sunday and Monday for 2-day-only closeout deals on all mattress sets and sofa love seat sets. Save an extra $50 off the already low closeout price. Only at Big Lots.
Oh, Sharon, this stuff won't get rid of the mold in here.
Will it help you forget our address?
There's a better way to deal with your mold problem.
Can you pass me the brush?
Tylex, the mold killer.
The tests are completed. The results are in. The all-new Kia Sedona is the first and only minivan to earn both the Insurance Institute's top safety pick and the government's 5-star crash safety rating in all 4 categories. The all-new Kia Sedona, the highest safety-rated minivan ever built. And with a 10-year warranty and this special offer, it's also the best value on the road.
Ask your doctor about Ambien CR, the latest Ambien. Then call for your 7-day free trial offer. Ambien CR is a controlled-release formula, and it's the only sleep aid with 2 layers. One dissolves quickly to help you fall asleep fast. The other dissolves slowly to help you stay asleep, so you can wake up and get ready for your day. Ambien CR is a treatment option you and your doctor can consider along with lifestyle changes and can be taken for as long as your doctor recommends. Until you know how Ambien CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic. However, like most sleep medicines, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Call today for your 7-day free trial offer of the latest Ambien, Ambien CR. And don't forget to mention the CR, a good night's sleep from start to finish.
Today marks the unofficial start of summer, a summer that will be an expensive one for travelers. Millions of Americans are already crowding airports, railroad stations, and highways as they head for their Memorial Day weekend destinations. The exodus got underway today with AAA predicting more than 37 million Americans will travel this weekend, most of them by car. They will find gas prices about 75 cents a gallon higher than last Memorial Day weekend. And AAA warned drivers today to steer clear of the temptation to pay for products that promise to save them money on gasoline. Here's ABC's Jim Avila.
Magic pills to super additives, promising huge increases in gas mileage to drivers pummeled at the pump by prices that start with a 3.
When you drop the pill in your gas tank,
the magic begins.
But the nation's largest auto club warns they've never found any of these gasoline stretchers to actually work.
We've never tested one that made any difference either to the emissions or to the fuel economy.
Not one, not...
And the air intake makes it spin, and it's supposed to impart a swirl to the air.
Or...
two different kinds of magnets that go on the fuel line.
Not even...
And the inventor claims to be able to capture frequency energy from the fourth dimension.
How do they know? AAA tests them, driving this car at speeds up to 80 miles per hour with plain gasoline bought from the corner pump.
This one is 25.355 miles per gallon.
Then with one of the magic pills or special oil or magnets.
This one was 25.785 miles per gallon.
So virtually no difference. AAA doesn't name names, but then again, they don't really have to, since in 20 years of testing, more than 100 devices and fuel additives, including 20 tests on magnets alone, they've never found one that actually improves gas mileage by as much as 1 mile per gallon. Last week, the Texas Attorney General shut down this magic pill operation, and Consumer Reports found 3 other devices ineffective: the $90 Fuel Genie, the Tornado, and the Platinum Gas Saver that was neither platinum nor saved gasoline. The manufacturers dispute the magazine's test methods and findings.
We've got no notable improvements in fuel economy from any of the 3 devices that we tested.
There are things AAA says you can do to save fuel: proper tire inflation, cruise control, drive slower, but there's no mention of a magic pill to save your arm or your leg. Jim Avila, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And when we come back, our person of the week, turning a limitation into an inspiration.
World News Tonight and Person of the Week, brought to you by Walmart.
This baby's gonna hold 5 packs easy. Then I'll cook some for you guys.
Hey.
Nice.
Say cheese. No quills in my pool.
Excuse me. Summer starts here at Walmart, and Over the Hedge starts May 19th, rated PG.
Listen to those Hendersons.
Party animals.
It's 30 shrimp at Red Lobster. Mix and match 2 irresistible favorites from decadent scampi, hand-breaded, shrimp pasta, or new spicy Cajun shrimp. That's 30 shrimp for $11.99. And soon, only at Red Lobster.
I'm Tracy Durfee, and this is my story. When the doctor said to me, "I think you have arthritis," I kind of sunk. I'm getting to the age where I'm starting to fall apart. The arthritis in my hand affects everything I do. People don't realize how often they use your hands. It's not just for working in the yard, just picking up a pen, shifting the car, just living your life would sometimes just hurt. I depend on Aleve. Aleve really helps. It really helps. I can get through my everyday without being in pain. It's great. I take the Aleve and I keep going.
Interested in the ultimate in bladder control freshness? Serenity Ultimate by Tenna is 25% more absorbent than Poise Ultra Plus. It's our most absorbent pad ever. Call now for a free sample.
You could say food's my life. I watch my diet. Still, my cholesterol's a little higher than my doctor and I want it to be. We talked about statins, which are a good option. For me, he chose a medicine that helps lower cholesterol differently. Zetia. Most cholesterol medicines work mainly with the liver. Zetia works in the digestive tract, as do some other medicines, but Zetia is unique in the way it helps block the absorption of cholesterol that comes from food. And Zetia, along with the healthy diet, lowered bad cholesterol by as much as 30 points. That's 18%. It complements what I've been doing lately, like eating healthy and exercising. Zetia may not be right for people who have ever had liver problems, are nursing or pregnant, or may become pregnant. Your doctor will decide if Zetia is right for you. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect and should be reported to a doctor right away. Common side effects included tiredness and stomach pain. So eat healthy and ask your doctor if Zetia is right for you. Now you can tell everybody that a waitress gave you a tip. Zetia, it's a different way to help fight cholesterol.
It's the biggest IndyCar Series event of the year, the Indianapolis 500. Some legendary families are back. Al Unser Jr. takes on father and son Michael and Marco Andretti. The Indy 500, Sunday noon Eastern on ABC.
Sunday mornings, the only people who aren't watching George are talking to him. Just listen to what the critics are saying. Stephanopoulos consistently conducts the tougher, more substantive interview, far outdoing his rivals. Sunday mornings, turn to George and ABC's This Week.
finally tonight, our person of the week. He is a champion, but that's not the most remarkable thing about him. What sets him apart is something he doesn't have and what he accomplished nonetheless.
I just play normal sports, growing up, basketball, baseball, football, soccer, anything really. We just, normal kid.
But what 17-year-old Anthony Robles has had to deal with is anything but normal. Anthony has become a high school sports star under the most extraordinary circumstances. He was born with one leg.
When I hear disabled and when it's mentioned around me or about me, it makes me kind of mad. I grew up just like my brothers and my sister. My parents didn't treat me any different. I pretty much do whatever I set my mind to. 20. Go.
He has set his mind to a great many things, and his disability hasn't kept him from accomplishing any of them.
When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a football player. People didn't think I could do it because, all that running but I just kind of adapted it to, when other guys are running around, I just hop around.
But his true athletic talent lies in a very different sport, wrestling.
I grew up using the crutches all the time, so it made my upper body a lot stronger. And, I'm a little bit lighter, so, that's definitely to my advantage. But I think, disadvantage, my balance was really hard to kind of figure out when I started wrestling, because that's a big part of it. My advantages, kind of equal my disadvantages.
That may not be entirely true. Anthony's advantages, plus his quickness and excellent conditioning, helped him not only have an undefeated season, but also win both a state and national championship this spring.
Anthony Robles from Mesa, Arizona.
I remember the finals match, really exciting. It was packed house.
Right off the whistle, the switch by Robles, and he scores the first 2 points.
Everything went quiet when she started wrestling. I just thought of me and my opponent and went, around the last 10 seconds, I looked up at the time and the score, and just, got really excited. I just saw the score, 9-1.
Anthony Robles is number 1.
Yesterday, this star athlete and student graduated with honors from Mesa High School, just outside Phoenix.
Anthony Robles.
Anthony says he's going to spend the summer bulking up to get ready to wrestle at Arizona State. He believes God made him this way for a reason, and now thinks he knows what the reason is.
Starting out wrestling, I didn't really... I didn't go in to prove anything or, to be an inspiration to anybody. I loved the sport. I wanted to do it and wanted to be the best at it. So, but, now people come up to me and say I'm an inspiration. It's pretty cool, so.
And so we choose Anthony Robles, an amazing young man. He says after college he wants to become a sports agent so he can stay in the world of athletics. And one final note, this is my last broadcast as co-anchor of World News Tonight. As you may know, Charlie Gibson will be taking over starting on Monday. I'm not going far. I'll be anchoring 2020 on Friday nights, and I'll see you again here from time to time once I'm back from maternity leave. It's been an honor and a privilege to share the news with you these past months, and I thank you for joining us each and every night. So for Bob Woodruff and all of us at ABC News, have a great holiday weekend and good night.
An 11-year-old girl abducted in a parking lot. It shocked the country, and this family saw it on TV. Then, unbelievably, it happened to their daughter. What she did and what you can learn from her to protect your kids, you can't miss on 2020 tonight.
Hi, I'm Larry Stovacey, the Lincoln Mercury dealer in Madison. Folks, what you see behind me is the largest inventory of Grand Marquis in the United States. I've got every color, every shape, every option. If you've wanted, I've got it. What are you going to pay? Take one that lists for $25,530. It's $16,995 delivered plus tax, title, and transfer. Town cars, 06 Town cars. I got a bunch of these too. $42,875 list, $29,995 delivered. Come down and get you one of these bargains. I'm waiting for you.
Live from Music City, News 2 at 6 starts now.
High gasoline prices and increased airline fares are not expected to keep travelers at home this Memorial Day weekend. Good evening. It's considered to be the unofficial start of the summer vacation season.
It is, and Americans by the millions are taking to the highways and skyways for the traditional Memorial Day travel.
About 4 out of 5 people will drive this weekend, but millions more will be packing airports all across the country. And traffic has been brisk all day long at the Nashville International Airport. News 2's Allison Hatcher joined us live from there this afternoon with the very latest. Allison?
Bob, airport officials tell me the parking lot was one of their first signs that this was really going to be a busy travel day. And they were right. Already,